Today I'm going to be showing you how to edit my photos like this, and I'm going to show you my whole process in Lightroom Classic. I have my laptop set up right here beside me, and I'm just going to talk and walk you guys through this whole thing. The first thing I do is categorizing these images. So when I get into Lightroom, I create a new catalog, and that catalog is specific to the folder in the shoot that I did. I used to do it where I had so many different photo shoots in one catalog, but I recently learned that it's better to keep things organized, so I keep it in one catalog. After I have all my images in Lightroom, I go through the photos one time. Now for this photo shoot, I had 156 photos. Now that is a huge improvement for me because I've shot like 200 to 300 photos for like one shoot, and people normally don't really use that many photos, so I've gotten a lot better. So I've gone through all these photos, and the way that I do it first, I go through the first thing and I select the ones that I like, the ones that stick out to me, the ones that are the best. And then I go back into that first selection, and then I kind of more fine-tooth comb. I compare some photos to other ones, making sure there's not too many duplicate style images. So then once I've done that, I went from 156 to 60 photos that I finally edited. The first thing I like to do when I have all my photos together and ready to get edited, I look through some previous presets, and if those do not work, then I go and create a new style based on that specific photo shoot. Now sometimes, for this specific photo shoot, this is what I did. I went to Pinterest and I kind of Googled a little bit of editorial styles. Now I do have an idea of what editorial looks like, but for a quick refresher, to get a feel for what those normally look like, I went in there, got some inspiration, and then went back into Lightroom to start editing. So I like to start often with either my curves, or I go to a few like basic adjustments like lighting. Now when I'm going through my curves, I'm kind of just trying to pick out what works for me. Now I'm going through the different colors here, and it's all categorized in the regular black and white, like the light and dark curves, and then you have the RGB curves. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to play around with getting that look. Now, because I use a white backdrop, I want to consider that when I change the colors in this, it's going to alter the background a little bit, and I don't want it to look overly edited. My final look and feel is I want it to feel a little bit high-end and classy, but I still want the darks and the lights to also appear, normal. Like, I don't want to make the photo overly different than it is before, but I want to add like a nice touch to it. Just a note for how I work. I'm a very creative visual person. I'm not very technical, as I'm sure you can see. So when I'm editing stuff, I'm feeling my way through things. So, yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm going through these photos, and I'm making some adjustments. And sometimes I like to go through I probably play around with at least 4 images, and I go back and forth where I copy and edit from that one photo into another photo to test and see if that matches the other look. Because sometimes when you copy something to another photo, it doesn't exactly look and feel the same way the other one is. So I like to make sure I'm testing the look based off all their other photos to see if it compares. So once I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like a little bit, that's what I'll start doing. And once I get that look, I go through the color mixer just to, because her dress is really a big focus because it's green against a very neutral white background. So I wanted to make sure I'm making her dress pop as well. So I adjust those colors, and then I'm copying it into another photo to test to see how it looks. Now, after a little bit of trial and error, because of my settings, I don't have to do major adjustments to the image to like bump it up to make it brighter or darker. So that's very important when you're doing a photo shoot. You want to do as much as you can pre-post. Anyways, you want to do as much as you can in the beginning so you don't have to do as much in post. I think at this point I've got the look. I think I got the look. So what I'll do is, as I'm going through the edits, I will just look at a few spots. Like for me as a photographer and editor, I don't really like super overly edited skin texture and tones. I like people to look natural. So I might remove some blemishes or scars or stuff like that, but I don't really enjoy when photo looks too like smooth. I've made the mistake of done it, and it just, I don't know, it's just not me. So, alright. Because I know, now this is also important when you're taking photos, sometimes I make a couple errors when I'm taking the photo, but I try to be as wide enough and give myself enough space horizontally and vertically, so that when I crop the photo, because these photos are going to end up on Instagram for my client / my sister, so I make sure I have enough room when I'm cropping them that it looks pretty good. I like to start in Lightroom. Sometimes I'll jump into Photoshop and then back into Lightroom. But I really like Lightroom and the updates that it has recently, because you can, there are features, like they have some additional AI features that helps you to remove certain things. Like it didn't do before. Most of the time I'd have to jump to Photoshop, edit that one thing, and then jump back in, and then it would be fine. But it's pretty good now where I can stick in Lightroom for the majority of my edits. One thing that I did for this specific photo, as you could tell, I jumped into Photoshop because you can see that the key, like that key light in the eye, that reflection that you get when you have light bouncing on your eye, like it wasn't on the other one, so I wanted to edit it and add it back into her eye just so that she looks like she has some life in her. When the light is not there in your eyes, it kind of makes you look lifeless, so to add more life into your eyes, the key light is very important. That catch light, sorry, I keep saying key light, catch light. So I'll add that back and maybe remove some blemishes, and I'll go back into Lightroom, like remove some hairs and stuff that are on your face, and then I'll go back into Lightroom, and that is pretty much it. If you also want some coaching one-on-one with me, learn photography, whether it's just your phone or you have a camera, you can book a time with me in the description as well below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.